Too slow. Too slow. Too slow. Stop playing with me. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Leave Florida, my gang. Leave Florida. You're not ready for me, bro. Don't call me out. Don't ever call me out. Fuck out of here. Don't ever call.
Good, y'all. It's your boy Wavy. So yesterday I got a chance to check out this race between Ishowspeed and Ashton Hall. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, like this whole live stream was extremely entertaining, man. Shout out to Speed, shout out to Ashton Hall. Like I literally I wasn't even the one racing, but I was nervous like right before the first race took place because these dudes was talking crazy, man. Ashton Hall, he's been calling out Speed the race for the past 2 months, basically telling everybody, oh, I'll beat Speed. There's nothing Speed can do to beat me in a race. After I beat Speed, he's going to have to change his name. I seen some people in the comments saying that, you know, it was $1 million on the line for whoever wins the race. If that's true, bruh, that is insane, bruh. You know, we seen Speed race the fastest dude in America, and he almost won, right? So if Ashton Hall is that stupid enough to really bet $1 million against Speed, it just goes to show, man, clout is a hell of a drug, man. Clout is a hell of a drug. So the live stream starts off with Ashton Hall pulling up to Speed's crib. You know what I'm saying? And he's just talking crazy, man. He's telling Speed how Speed doesn't have any running shoes and how it's not going to be fair. It's going to be too easy for him. So Ashton goes, let's race barefoot. Now, it's funny how he recommended that him and Speed should race barefoot because Ashton, he ended up complaining about running barefoot. He was complaining about his foot bleeding and, you know, he would do better with shoes on. And it's like, bruh, you should have never been running your mouth at Speed's house. You the one that said let's race barefoot. So shout out to Speed. You know, Speed stood on business. He did not allow Ashton Hall to race him with shoes on. He did allow him to put socks on, but he was not going for the whole let's put shoes on crap. You know what I'm saying? So first they pull up to a field. It looks like a field at a school, right? So they get there and some white guys in the background telling them, get the fuck out of here, leave, get the fuck out of here. What are you guys doing? Like this dude was just so extra, bruh. Like he was acting like these dudes was criminals, bro. Like obviously the dudes got cameras, right? Both dudes are athletic. They're not wearing shirts, right? It's obvious that they were there to do some type of, you know, athletic sport or whatever, right? And this guy's in the background just being an absolute Karen, bruh. So shout out to that idiot. So they ended up having to leave. They leave and they find, you know, another place that they can race at. And they decide to race in the grass, right? So the race starts and Speed was just blowing. Like Ashton Hall, like it's not like he got smoked, but Speed was like obviously winning the match with ease. And when Ashton Hall realized that he had no chance of winning, he fell. I think like the way that looked like to me, he fell on purpose, right? Like he claims that there was a pothole in the grass. That's bullshit. He was lying, bruh. He fell on purpose because he was embarrassed. He knew there was no chance of him winning the race. And Speed was just blowing past him. So before Speed was too ahead of him to make him look bad, he fell on purpose to use that as an excuse to start over, right? So, you know, Speed knew it was bullshit, but Speed said, you know what? You said it was some type of hole in the grass. You tripped, you fell. You know, Ashton kept saying, oh, it doesn't count because I fell. He said, all right, let's do it again. They race again. Speed blows past them with ease, right? So then Ashton Hall goes, oh, let's do it again. Let's do it again. I fell the first time. And Speed's like, bro, you're slow. You was talking all this shit. You were fraud. From now on, we gonna call you Ashton Fraud. The reason why you want to race again is because you know it's over for you. And Speed was right. Speed, like, you know, he knows that Ashton Hall was just talking out of his ass. So Ashton Hall goes, bro, let's race on the concrete. Speed's like, nah, I'm leaving. Speed gets back in this Lambo truck. Speed's like, bro, at this point, bro, I just beat you twice in a row. You wasted my time. So Ashton Hall, listen, let me say this, man. Ashton Hall, he is a very confident dude, and he's very witty, bro. He is very good with words because he even was convincing me that he actually had a chance of beating Speed, bro. He basically was telling Speed, look, bro, the first time we raced, I fell, right? The second time we raced, you beat me. But he goes, I'm not used to racing in the grass, right? I've never raced in the grass. Let's race on the concrete. I would do better on the concrete and let me put my shoes on. So Speed is like, yo, check this out, bro. I'll race you on the concrete, but you ain't putting no shoes on, bro. I'm not gonna let you put shoes on. And I don't know why, but Speed, he was not going for Ashton Hall putting shoes on, bro. Like, I don't know if Speed felt like because Ashton had these special type of running shoes that was gonna give him an advantage. I don't know, because like most people in the comments were saying that you're faster without shoes, right? So I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. Do you think that you're faster running with shoes on or shoes off, right? So long story short, they raced on the concrete, and this was the most even race. Like, this is the most even race out of all of them, right? I'm not even gonna lie to you. When it first happened, I thought it was a tie, right? When it first happened, I thought it was a tie. Then I saw the replay from a certain angle, and it looked like Ashton Hall won the race. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, right? So I said, holy shit. I'm like, Ashton, he was way faster on the concrete than he was in the grass. So I got to give credit to Ashton Hall. You know, maybe he's really just not used to running in grass. Maybe the grass slowed him down, but he was moving on the concrete, bro. That first race on the concrete, Ashton Hall was moving, bro. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, Speed, he showed another angle of the race, and Speed did edge it out, you know, because like towards the end of the race, once they got to the finish line, Speed had his hands out, and that pretty much made it clear as day that Speed did win the race just by a little bit. But when Ashton Hall, one of the guys that's a part of Ashton Hall's team, he kept saying that it was a tie, and then he went on to say Ashton Hall won, and this pissed Speed off. Like, Speed, he got so mad to the point where he actually started disrespecting this dude, which I didn't like. He pretty much was calling the guy a dick rider. He was telling him to shut the fuck up. He was saying, bro, you're stupid, you're dumb. And I'm like, damn, Speed, like, relax, bro. It's just a race, right? But Speed really didn't like the fact that a couple of people in Ashton Hall's team was like basically saying that it was either a tie or that Ashton Hall won. So then Speed and Ashton is going back at it. Ashton's like, bro, it was a tie. It was a tie. So you just gonna leave? Speed's like, bro, I'm leaving. So Speed is telling Ashton, bro, the fact that you can't admit that I'm faster than you and that I beat you, I don't like that, so I'm leaving. So Ashton's like, bro, if you faster than me, then just beat me again. He said it was a tie. So Ashton went as far as to this, what he did. So Ashton, he took, like, he showed a screenshot of the middle of the race, not the end of the race when it was done. He showed a screenshot of the middle of the race, the third race, and Ashton at that point, he was ahead of Speed, but Speed caught up to him and passed him. So he was using that as a way to tell Speed, look, bro, I beat you. And Speed is like, bro, that's at the beginning when you were beating me. I caught up and passed you. Like, are you stupid? And Speed at this point, bro, like, Speed looked like his head was about to explode, man. Like, Speed was just so pissed off at the fact that Ashton Hall did not want to give him credit for beating him. So long story short, Ashton goes, bro, race me again. And, you know, let's do it with shoes on. Speed goes, bro, I'll race you again, but you can't wear shoes. So Ashton goes, bro, my foot is bleeding. So Speed goes, my foot is bleeding too. And Speed's foot actually was bleeding, bro. Like, his big toe was bleeding. Ashton Hall's foot was bleeding. You know, these guys were racing on the concrete, bro. Like, this is what I'm saying, right? All of these races, bro, these guys should have had shoes on, bro. Once again, this is why I got to blame Ashton Hall. Everything that happened yesterday is Ashton Hall's fault. You know, him taking this L in front of the world 4 times straight is his fault. He's the one that called out Speed. He's the one that pulled up to Speed's house. He's the one that told Speed, let's race barefoot. All of these things that happened to Ashton Hall is 100% his fault. So we get the final race, right? This is the last race, the 4th race. They're back on the concrete. They're both barefoot. Speed just won the race with ease, bro. This last race wasn't even close, right? And once again, like I said, man, like, I just don't understand why Ashton Hall, as big as he is, bro, with all those muscles, right? I don't understand why he thought that he actually had a chance to win this race, bro. I just don't understand, bro. Like, listen, for his size, I got to give credit when it's due. For Ashton Hall's size, he's fast, right? Like, and Speed even said this, like, after the race when Speed went back to his house and, you know, Ashton Hall admitted on his stream that Speed won. Speed was like, okay, it's all love. Shout out to Ashton Hall. So he calls Kai and he's like, yo, Kai, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. He's not slow. He's like, Ashton Hall is actually fast. He could beat you, but you know, he's just not as fast as like the top guys, but for his size, he's fast, man. And he was, man, that third race, bro, Speed and Ashton was literally neck and neck, bro. They were neck and neck. Like, it really was a really close race. Like I said, I thought it was a tie at first. And listen, if Ashton Hall was to lose some weight and get rid of some of them muscles, bro, because like the dude, like, he looks like he's on the same steroids as The Rock and Brock Lesnar, bro. Like, it's ridiculous, bro. If Ashton Hall got off of the PEDs, the Ostarine that Ryan Garcia was on, and if he was to slim down and get rid of all that unnecessary muscle mass, I think Ashton Hall could beat Speed in a race. Honestly, I think the muscles is what caused Ashton to lose. On top of that, I also feel like the fact that they were racing on concrete and grass barefoot, I think that played a role as well. I think both of them should race again. Me personally, I think they should, you know, give Ashton Hall 2 or 3 months to train. Have these guys race again. Have them both wear running shoes. And I think that this race would be a even closer race than the third one was. That's just my opinion. But with that being said, man, this was very entertaining. I want to see Speed race again. At this point, bro, I want to see Speed race Usain Bolt, bro. I know Usain Bolt is older now, bro, but I either want to see Speed race Usain Bolt or Tyreek Hill, the cheetah. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if Speed can beat Tyreek Hill, or, yo, another person is Terrell Owens, bro. Terrell Owens is fast, bro. Even though Terrell Owens is in his 50s now, bro, Terrell Owens, he's still fast as fuck, bro. We got to have Speed racing on the regular, man. Let's get a race with Usain Bolt, Tyreek Hill, Terrell Owens. You know what I'm saying? Who else, man? Let me know in the comment section, man. Who do y'all want to see Speed race, man? So with that being said, man, this your boy Wavy. Subscribe, thumbs the video up, leave a comment. I'm out.
Bye.
Clear.
Bye. Delete your Instagram. Bye. Delete your Instagram. Bye, dude.
I got it. No.